During today's deposition in the New York Attorney General's investigation into Trump's shady business practices, the former president announced that he pleaded the Fifth, opting to invoke his constitutional right against self-incrimination. He released a statement saying, quote, "I once asked, if you're innocent, why are you taking the Fifth Amendment? Now I know the answer to that question. When your family, your company, and all the people in your orbit have become the targets of an unfounded, politically motivated witch hunt supported by lawyers, prosecutors, and the fake news media, you have no choice. Accordingly, under the advice of my counsel and for all of the above reasons, I decline to answer the questions under the rights and privileges afforded to every citizen under the United States Constitution." Now, here's the thing, and I hope you're sitting down for this. Donald Trump has been clear about the culpability of those who choose to invoke the Fifth. And when I say clear, I mean extremely clear.
The mob takes the Fifth. If you're innocent, why are you taking the Fifth Amendment?
When you have your staff taking the Fifth Amendment, taking the Fifth, so they're not prosecuted. When you have the man that set up the illegal server taking the Fifth, I think it's disgraceful.
Have you seen what's going on in front of Congress? Fifth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, Fifth Amendment. Horrible. Horrible.
So if you're wondering about Donald Trump's guilt here, don't take it from me, take it from Donald Trump. And of course, I should caveat this by saying that in criminal cases, you can't draw a negative inference if a person invokes the Fifth. With that said, in the court of public opinion, you can. So with regard to Donald Trump pleading the Fifth, I should probably ask, what is he hiding? Now, the New York Attorney General's probe focuses on whether Trump's company used fraudulent or misleading asset valuations to get loans or tax benefits, which wasn't helped by the fact that Trump himself was publicly inflating the value of those same assets to land himself on Forbes lists. If you'd have told me that Trump's ego would one day land him in the middle of a New York Attorney General's investigation, yeah, I'd have totally believed you. But that probe isn't to be confused with the legal jeopardy that Trump found himself in only days earlier. The FBI executed a search warrant at his home of Mar-a-Lago and took about a dozen boxes of documents. Trump and his mouthpieces have assailed the search as evidence of the politicization of the FBI and the DOJ. In other words, it's totally fine for Trump to commit crimes, but because he's a political figure, then anytime law enforcement seeks to investigate or hold him accountable, then those agencies are being politicized, meaning you can never investigate Trump. Convenient, huh? The simple fact is that rather than whining that Trump is facing consequences for his illegal actions, maybe condemn the illegal actions. The rest of us have to follow the law, so this idea that Trump shouldn't really does betray the entire conservative worldview that he's above the law. That because he was the president, he's not beholden to the same laws that the rest of us are. For a party predicated on personal responsibility and anti-elitism, maybe try taking some responsibility and not being so elitist. These investigations will continue to ramp up in the coming days and weeks, and conservatives will continue melting down on behalf of the guy whose wagon they've all hitched themselves to. But notice, amid all of the fainting spells, that not once will they acknowledge why these investigations and depositions and searches are being conducted. Not once will they concede that these things aren't happening independent of a cause. Not once will they admit that there is a reason Trump's facing accountability, because that would undermine their ultimate goal of perpetual victimhood. And so they'll pretend that this was ordered by Joe Biden. They'll pretend that the DOJ and the FBI are being weaponized. They'll pretend that this is some grand scheme to make sure that Trump can't run again. That is all BS. This is all happening in response to Trump's own actions, his own behavior, his own criminality. And the fact that we have to constantly explain that to a party of personal responsibility goes to show just how blinded they are by their own pathetic fealty. Before you go, couple things. First, if you want to support my work, the best way is to subscribe to this channel. The subscribe button is right here on the screen. And second, if you want to see and hear more from me, check out my website, briantylercohen.com. That way you can get links to my podcast, merchandise, ways to donate to voting rights organizations, and so much more. The thumbnail is also right here on the screen, so go check it out. And as always, thank you so much for watching.